Welcome back. It's time for part 2 of ranking the 15 starting quarterbacks that will be starting next year, only based off of their first start. This video will be numbers 10 to 6.
At number 10, Chicago Bears quarterback Mitch Trubisky, drafted 2nd overall in 2017.
Mitch Trubisky's first start was Week 5, 2017. It was a home game against the Vikings, in which the Bears lost 20-17. In his first start, Mitch Trubisky showed a lot of promise. On throws off of play action and throwing on the run, Mitch looked great. He fit the ball into tight windows in the intermediate and long range. His release was lightning quick, although the Bears really struggled to mount a drive in this game. There was a safety and a fake punt touchdown for the Bears that got most of their points, although I think that was less on Mitch and more on his surrounding talent. All 5 receivers and tight ends he completed passes to are no longer on an NFL team. And this game was just 2 years ago. He did end up throwing a 20-yard touchdown pass and ran in the 2-point conversion to tie the game, highlighting his mobility and the fact that he was able to make plays with his legs. Unfortunately, that promise Mitch showed didn't result in a win due to a few costly errors. He lost a fumble early, but that was more Everson Griffin being a monster than it was Mitch being bad. He got one of his wide receivers injured by throwing a pass he had to reach and take a big hit for, which is also something you never want to do. Lastly, the Bears got the ball at their own 10-yard line with the game tied and 2 minutes left. Mitch proceeded to throw a terrible interception to lose the game for the Bears. His final stat line was 12 of 25 for 125 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and a fumble. He had a 60.1 QB rating and 3 carries for 22 yards.
At number 9, Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Gardner Minshew, drafted 178th overall in 2019.
Gardner Minshew's first start was Week 2, 2019. It was a road game against the Texans in which the Jags lost 13-12. In his first start, Gardner Minshew seemed to be playing it safe. As a 6th-round pick, he was pushed into the starting lineup, his second career game as a rookie. He threw the ball well, with great accuracy and power, but most of his passes were in the short and intermediate range. There were only 3 deep throws the whole game, but I did notice that he made better throws toward the sideline rather than over the middle, which was interesting. He looked poised in the pocket and threw the ball away when it was the right idea to. Also, he was able to make big plays with his legs. This was highlighted by his 18-yard scramble on a 4th quarter 4th and 10, but for every positive of Minshew's game, there was a negative to go along with it. He held onto the ball way too long, which ironically enough led to him not holding onto the ball when he was sacked. He fumbled the ball 3 times. 2 were fortunately recovered by his teammates. Also, on 5 different occasions, the decision he made on 3rd down had no chance of a first down occurring. That is the conservative approach that is not winning football. Minshew did lead an impressive touchdown drive with seconds left in the game to potentially tie it, although the Jags elected to go for 2 in the win and Fournette was stuffed. This touchdown drive was good, but it shouldn't take away from the fact that the Jags had 6 points for the first 59 minutes of the game. His final stat line was 23 of 33 for 213 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and 1 fumble lost, for a 97.2 QB rating, and 6 carries for 56 yards on the ground.
At number 8, Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray, drafted 1st overall in 2019.
Kyler Murray's first start was Week 1, 2019. It was a home game against the Lions in which the Cardinals tied 27-27. In his first start, Kyler Murray looked like 2 different quarterbacks. Kyler in quarters 1 through 3 would have been last on this list. The Cardinals' first 7 drives resulted in punts. He threw 1 terrible pick, and another pass totally should have been picked. He threw many deep balls, but none were caught in the first 3 quarters. They were always close enough for the wide receiver to get one hand on it, but never close enough to be completed. He also took quite a few sacks. He may have suffered a bit from poor protection, and Arizona ran 5 wide more than any other team I've ever seen. He looked very small, and if he wasn't rolling out of the pocket to throw, it usually got bad at the line of scrimmage. Kyler did show poise in the pocket and flashed his speed while escaping from defenders. One of his best qualities was his quick release. But then, something clicked. I don't know if Kyler saw the score sitting at 24-6 in the 4th quarter or what, but he turned it on. He started firing. 4 straight drives resulted in points, including a touchdown and a 2-point conversion with a few seconds left to force overtime, and a field goal drive to start overtime. He threw 2 beautiful 40-plus yard passes to Larry Fitzgerald. I counted 8 really good throws in the 4th quarter and overtime. Even with a rocky start, Kyler Murray adjusted to the NFL 3 quarters in impressive fashion. His final stat line was 29 of 54 for 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception for 75.2 QBR, and 3 carries for 13 yards on the ground.
At number 7, New York Jets quarterback Sam Darnold, drafted 3rd overall in 2018.
Sam Darnold's first start was Week 1, 2018. It was a road game against the Lions, in which the Jets won 48-17. On Sam Darnold's first career pass, he panicked in the pocket, rolled right, and threw across his body right into the arms of Quandre Diggs, who jogged into the end zone for a pick 6. Darnold continued to look panicked throughout the first half. He waited way too long to throw the ball, and when he did, it was either a very short dump-off, off-target deep, or he was bailed out by Quincy Enunwa making a catch from a bad throw. But everything came together with 2 minutes left in the first half when he threw a perfect ball to Robbie Anderson streaking down the sideline for a 41-yard touchdown. Second half, Darnold was a different quarterback. He looked much more mobile, went through his progressions, and had a powerful pass off play action. His decision-making improved and he was more accurate. Don't be swayed by the final score. Darnold only threw 1 more touchdown pass. The defense scored, and so did the special teams, and Isaiah Crowell ran in a 62-yarder. But still, Darnold had an impressive recovery from his first pass, pick 6. His final stat line was 16 of 21 for 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception for a 116.8 QB rating, and rushing 6 carries from -1 yards, but it was from kneeling down at the end of the game.
At number 6, Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, drafted 12th overall in 2017.
Deshaun Watson's first game was Week 2, 2017. It was a road game against the Bengals, in which the Texans won 13-9. In his first start, Deshaun Watson looked extraordinarily mobile. He evaded the rush, threw on the run, and made something out of a broken play by using his legs nearly every play. The physical aspects of his game were outstanding. Highlighted by his ridiculous 49-yard touchdown scamper, Watson was putting on a show in the pocket. He had to withstand pressure in his face nearly every play. His stats were even deflated by a couple of drops. Watson also showed improvement from one half to the next. In the first half, he frequently held onto the ball too long, and 2 of his throws should have been intercepted. A lot of his throws were dump-offs, but he completed them, and really opened it up for the times that he hit Hopkins deep. Those throws came towards the end of the first half, and throughout the second. The biggest knock on Watson was his decision-making, but I cannot stress enough how mobile he looked, which is something you can't learn. His final stat line was 15 of 24 for 125 yards, no touchdowns, no picks through the air, but a 75.9 QB rating and 5 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown on the ground.
Thanks to NFL Game Pass for all this amazing footage. I hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for watching.